Good evening. I'll now call the City of Cannon Falls City Council meeting for Tuesday, August 5th to order. Roll call.
Councilmember Duncan.
Here.
Holst.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Mattson.
Here.
McCusker.
Yes.
Schoblum.
Here.
And Mayor Robinson.
Here. All please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting. At this time, the chair will take a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Merle, second by Bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. That moves us on to item 5 this evening, which is public input. Citizens may speak to issues not on the agenda. Before speaking, please give your name and address for the minutes. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Is there anyone wishing to address the council under public input?
Thank you. My name is Diane Logue, and I live at 31924 County 24 Boulevard, just on the west side of 52. And I'm here to publicly go on the record with this body about the closing of 24 Crossing. And I have talked with different people in the administration and services, and they all have told me they take direction from this body. So that's why I'm here. And I know some of you have participated with us, with the senators and the representatives. But I'm feeling like the city is not being really proactive in kind of being assertive with the state. And I base that on my involvement with the city of Savage, even though it's in the dinosaur age from 86 to 97. I'm just worried if you let them close it before the study is done, that it will never reopen. And I'm asking you to be assertive and proactive and work with them to reach a compromise to at least leave it open until the study is finished, get a stay of execution. If you speak, I have a business on that side as well as, well, a lot of our businesses over there. And I'm not sure how it would work if they end up closing it, if we would have to pay to reopen it, if that's what the study dictates, or that I'm not privy to. But I would suggest that if that's the case, then let's just barricade it so you can't cross, but leave the right-off and right-ons open until the decision is made. And then if we have to pay to close it, maybe that's a wash. I'm throwing these out as ideas. The big crux, though, for me is fire safety for us on the west side, because, God forbid, we have a semi-accident that blocks one of the westbound roundabouts, and for some reason, the big vehicles can't get around. And I know the hospital had to have 2 access points because of that very thing, and also for terrorism, which I don't expect in Cannon Falls, but for all those businesses on the west side, it could mean the matter of us surviving or not a fire. And I have animals, Dick Peterson has animals, the hotel. If for some reason either one of those 2 western roundabouts happen to have an accident that is before the frontage road, we're doomed. We have no access, and we need access. We need to be taken care of for that. And I kind of, in a bold statement, want to say if it's good enough for the hospital to have 2 access points, I think it's good enough for our taxpayers also, because we are blessed to have that beautiful facility, but they are a user of services and not a payer of taxes in our community. And we on the west side are the businesses that are paying a lot of taxes to this community. And I'm afraid it's going to make us a ghost town from a business standpoint. And if we don't fight and fight hard to keep that going until they can prove it's not safe, it's going to make us a ghost town. And where are we going to replace those businesses and the tax base? The people living in Cannon Falls can't support that kind of tax base if those businesses continue to go under. So thank you for hearing me, and I just wanted to be on public record so that if you feel strongly about it, you could direct Brenda, Chief McCormick, any of the emergency people. I've been told they take their direction from you on how they'll go forward and fight for this. So Thank you very much.
Did you go out to Country Kitchen a week ago? Was you out for
I
that?
was gone.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. I have been to the other meetings too.
Okay.
But I know that you're not sitting still. But through personal, and again, I know it's a long time ago, but through personal experience, the state will kind of roll over us as much as we'll let them in a certain extent. We need this town to fight for us. We need them to just say, hey, you're not going to roll over us.
This town has been proactive, honest,
Yeah.
you know, as far as
You're right,
signage
close
and all
it.
this. I know, but our hands are kind of tied. They have been fighting.
I mean, if you
There's
could
only so
direct
much you can do.
Mr. Johnson to be a pain in their side every day, be a pain in their side every day. You know, I know they have to receive direction from you, and that's, I guess, in a way, that's what I'm asking, is that you just tell them fight every day for us, and so that maybe they'll listen.
Well, trust me, they have. I mean, they've been there. We've all been in their ear. Senator Schmidt's been in their ear. Senator, Representative Kelly. We can get in their ear. I mean, about the next step is to call the governor. I mean, and
Let's do it.
I mean, and that's something that
Let's do it.
I do want to look at the fire issues. I mean, as far as getting.
There's no way to get to us.
To talk to someone. I mean, you're not the first person that's brought that up to me. Somebody else brought that up the other day, and I do want to look at that issue. So
It's scary. I mean,
we'll look at it and see what we may have to do.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that wishes to address the council under public input? Seeing as there are none, we'll move on to public hearings. At this time, we will go to Resolution 2089, certifying unpaid utility charges to be collected with taxes. And Linnell?
Thank you, Mayor. You have in your packets, excuse me, the information regarding the unpaid utilities for this latest quarter. The residents do have an opportunity to address that this evening if they wish to do so. Otherwise, these will be added to the property taxes for collection on next year's taxes if they remain unpaid.
It's gone up a little bit, hasn't it?
The amounts on this particular list are, while there is more in just the numbers in general, and part of the reason for that is because we had a staff member that processes these that was out on vacation, so she had to put these together a week earlier than normal. So there is a definite possibility that some payments came in and this could be reduced.
Okay. Okay, this time we will open the public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to address the council under the public hearing on the unpaid utility charges? Seeing as there is no one wishing to address the council this evening for this, we will close the public hearing at this time. And this time I will accept the motion to adopt Resolution 2089, a resolution certifying unpaid utility charges to be collected with taxes.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Bill,
Second.
second by Merle. Any further discussion?
Just a quick thing, Linnell. What was it at last time? I thought it was up about 5,000 this time. Does that seem right, or?
Looks like to me.
I don't have those numbers, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry.
I was just kind of wondering why it was up, or.
Well, as I said, the numbers are up because of the timing issue with the way the payments were processed, and so we do hope that those numbers will go down before the actual certification is sent to the county, and we will process all those payments before that is done. So anything that has come in will definitely be credited, and they'll be removed from this list.
Any other discussion? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. That moves us on to the second item under public hearings, which is the 2nd Street Southwest Improvement Project. We're going to conduct a public hearing, and then we will have Resolution 2091, ordering improvement and awarding the bid. And Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, Mayor and council members. What you have in front of you is a packet of information, informational memo, and I've also included the notice of hearing, the mailed notice of hearing for special assessment for the improvement hearing for tonight. Mr. Anderson from SEH has included a letter related to the bid itself. The bids were opened on July 29th, and we received 2 bids on that. The low bid was $83,178. And then based on those numbers, Greg put together a couple of different scenarios for you for a potential assessment roll. One, if you look at the assessment roll spreadsheet, he's got one column towards the second or the third to the right column shows the assessment per unit, and the last one would be if you went with a front footage assessment instead, and the difference is there. Now you will notice there are a couple of duplicate names. Daryl McLean and First English, they each have 2 parcels according to the TAC parcel IDs that Greg looked up on that. So what would be in order would be to conduct the improvement hearing, if council so chooses, after accepting public input, would be to obviously close the public hearing and then consider a resolution to order the improvement and award the bid to Bituminous Roadways.
Greg, why'd the bid come in so high over what we estimated? Do you know?
My guess is that we had a small amount of work to do, one block of street, and the fact that one of the 2 bidders is actually doing all the paving on the interchange. Maybe that scared off some of the other guys from bidding, thinking, well, he's going to be in town, he'll be the low bidder. As it turns out, he wasn't. He was the higher of the 2 bids. But I did talk to 2 of the bidders that bid the 318th project, and they both are 20, 30 miles from Cannon Falls, and both said it's just not enough work for us to go over there to throw a bid in at this time. And then also there's a lot of work going on right now, so it's tough doing just one block as opposed to 8 or 9 blocks. I mean, I think we're very fortunate with 318th. We got a very good number there. That was a pretty significant quantity, but now we were doing just one block of street with some minor curb repairs. It's tough.
Is there any way that we could come up with another project or 2 to maybe see about getting the bid at the same price for 2 projects? I mean, that's quite a bit more than what I had, based off of what you told me. I mean, that.
We followed the bidding process, and our hands are kind of tied. This is the project. We had to put it out for bids. Everyone's got the level playing field, if you will. So, and this is what we got. We were hoping with the work going on at the interchange, we'd see some numbers closer to 318th, and timing-wise, it just didn't work out to include it with 318th. And now, we did the water main first, and now we're putting the street back together.
Almost makes me want to just scrap the project and try it again in the spring.
It's really a bad situation there too with the hill. That's what would bother me about waiting with it. It's kind of a bad situation right now with it isn't completely gravelled and ready for blacktop even. So I don't know. One thing is with the construction going on now is everybody is so swamped in the construction industry. I don't see things getting better, actually.
No, we were fortunate on 318th to come in under estimate, and unfortunately we come in over estimate here, and that adds about maybe $3,000 for the 8 affected residents to the cost of the project. But the street's got to get done. I don't think we can.
Had dirt roads in the past.
Well, I know, but you just can't have that there.
Any other discussion? Anybody else wishing to address the council under public hearing?
Roy Sanderson. I'm president of the council at First English Church and president of the property committee, and we're under the assumption that we will not be assessed for this project as was stated in the paper, being it's been done less than 20 years ago, and we thought that was the rule, that you can't be assessed twice. Is there an answer to that question?
Ron?
Yes, and I was going to point that out earlier, but our code calls for a replacement on streets of street surfacing of 15 years. So after 15 years, we can assess, or you can assess. The variation to that is with curb and gutter. Curb and gutter has a 20-year lifespan according to our code, and the code then states that it would be 19/20ths of the cost. You prorate it out wherever you're at in that 20-year term. So that's what the assessment roll would look like. There would be 19/20ths of the curb and gutter, but 100% of the street.
The question is, why was the street tore up, other than we know the water main was bad and the water main was buried too shallow? Had that not been done incorrectly or not up to the accepted practices in 95, would we had to tear the street up yet? So in other words, the street got damaged and has to be replaced because it was incorrectly done in 95. Do we have any ground to stand on other than sand and dirt right now?
I don't think so, and the problem here was the water main was in the middle of the street, so we couldn't save half for the other half. The water went right down the middle. So there would have been no sense to try to put a patch in the middle of the street. As far as, I think 95 was 95, and we are where we are today, unfortunately.
And you talk about curb and gutter. Are you going to remove the curb and gutter because it hasn't been removed yet?
We're only going to replace the pieces that are missing currently.
So that's according to whoever owns that section of the property that needs to be replaced?
When we get the final quantities, I'll sit down with Ron and make sure we're following the code on that. I'm not exactly sure if it's 100% or, at the 19/20ths, if you will, for the curb and gutter cost, and everyone shares, and that also will depend on the assessment method the council chooses. I mean, if it's a unit assessment, then it's going to be everyone's going to pay the same. If it's a front foot, that might be a discussion we'll have to take a look at. But the curb and gutter that's missing right now will be replaced. We don't anticipate taking out any more than's been taken out now to replace the water services.
As it is right now, I don't think you've touched our curb and gutter.
No.
Most of your side has a sidewalk without a curb, except for the very south piece by the park.
Well, the sidewalk performs the curb, and all the other small sections of curb seem to be intact. So that should save us that. Okay, I guess we don't have another stand. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
I might also point out that I know it doesn't help you with the street costs. I know it doesn't, but this is the second part of a project that the water main, of course, has been installed, and that portion of that council opted not to assess directly to the benefiting property owners, but will be ultimately included in probably either taken out of water fund reserves or included in another project for the whole tax base.
So the cost of putting in the new water main will not be a part of our assessment?
It's not going to be part of the assessment. Council agreed to that earlier.
Right?
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And that cost was approximately $65,000 plus or minus.
It was in bad shape. I was there
Yeah.
when they dug it up.
Okay. Thank you.
And it does not service the church. The church is serviced from Bell Street. Sewer and water.
No. Could you please
Royce,
sign in?
Royce, did you sign in,
Sign in
please?
for us,
Yes,
sir.
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Ron, what's the deal on, explain that to me, on McLean's being assessed twice and First English being assessed twice? The water was done on I don't know what street that is, but I know McLean's face Bell Street or something, and so does the other one up there, First English.
Yeah, the assessment that the roll that Greg put together was for just the abutting properties on
Okay.
for the street footage, and he did the two different methodologies. One was the per unit, the other was per lineal foot. And the McLean property has two parcels showing up on the parcel ID map. that abut on 2nd Street Southwest, and then First English has 2 parcels. So what you ultimately...
They both have 2 parcels? Their parcels are split east and west there?
Correct. Yeah, there's...
Okay.
And what that, ultimately when we have, prior to when we set the final improvement hearing or final assessment hearing, we'll need to know as staff how you want to determine how to do the assessments, whether it's on a unit basis or a lineal foot. But I don't need that answer tonight.
Is there any further discussion? Anyone else wishing to address the council on the 318th Street, on the 2nd Street Southwest Improvement Project? Seeing there is none, we will close the public hearing at this time, and the chair will take a motion to adopt the resolution ordering the 2nd Street Southwest Street Improvement Project, and then awarding the bid to by Mentinus Roadways, Inc., with the lowest possible bid of $83,978.
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Bill, second by Merle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. That moves us on to the consent agenda. Items on this area of the agenda may be adopted or they may be removed and placed on the business area of the agenda for discussion purposes before approving. For the folks at home, I'll read the consent agenda. Item A is adjusting correct claims for accounting period ending August the 1st, 2014. Item B are the meeting minutes for the July 15th, 2014 City Council meeting. Item C, Resolution 2090, authorizing acceptance of monetary donation for the fire department. Item D, administrative clarification for the 3rd Cannon Street Improvement Project. Item E, sign retroflectivity policy. Item F, promote Sulu Kira Jr. to full-time EMS supervisor. Item G, Resolution 2092, denying preliminary plat for Mole Hill Phase 2. Item H, quit claim deed for Nybo property. Item I, liquor license violation and call for a public hearing, sold to Mexico. Item J, winery liquor license. Item K, hiring of Tony Hahn for full-time public works maintenance 1. Item L, hiring of Trevor Sullivan for full-time police officer. Item M, application for payment 1 from SM Hennages for 2nd Street Southwest water main improvements. Are there any items anyone wishes to bring down? I will be bringing down item 7F. That will be 8-1 or 8A. If no one else wishes to bring anything down, Chair will make a motion to approve the consent agenda minus item 7F.
So moved.
I will second that.
Motion by Merle, second by Bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And that moves us to council business. Item 8A is the promotion of Sulu Kiro, and basically the only thing I do have there on that is we need to approve the date of hire to July the 29th instead of August the 6th for the promotion.
Why?
For council's the memory, we at the 7:15 council meeting, Brenda was given direction to hire a full-time or hire for this position, and so she did. The employee started on July 29th. This is formalizing, so it's in the minutes that we have hired Mr. Kira.
Okay. I'm good with that then.
Okay. Then Chair will take a motion to approve the promotion of Sulu Kira Jr. to full-time EMS supervisor as noted affected above, but the effective date will be July the 29th.
So moved.
And I will second.
Motion by Merle, second by Bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. That moves us on to item 9, reports. You guys don't fight over them.
The only thing I have is that the Planning Commission meeting for this coming Monday night will be postponed to September 8th, the regular Monday meeting in September. That's all I have. Nothing.
Brenda?
I just have one thing. Tomorrow, I'll be acting in my capacity again as a member of the EMS Honor Guard to serve at the funeral for Officer Scott Patrick. And when I do that, I also like to take that opportunity to thank the members of my staff who cover me so that I can act in that capacity. And I also like to remember to thank the local VFW who was instrumental in first providing me with a uniform to begin that service with the Honor Guard. And I thank the city for giving me the opportunity to serve with that organization as well. It is a very meaningful one to me. So thank you for that.
Tom?
Just a reminder, tomorrow and Thursday we'll be updating the Trollhaven playground equipment. We've been fortunate the last 3 or 4 years to get some grants that were 45 to 50% grants on the equipment we have replaced, which came out of the park dedication fund. So that's what we'll be doing. The park will be tore up for a few days before it gets better, but I just wanted the public to know it's come down.
Thanks. Keith?
Just so that people are aware, we've gotten through most of our community events for the year. However, we will have dedication for the Veterans Memorial this weekend, and there will be some parking and street closing disruptions associated with that for just general traffic. But it should be very minimal as far as the impact. Part of Mill Street will be closed. We're going to close part of the parking lot at Two Rivers so that bleachers can be set up for the event. That'll happen tomorrow, and then it'll be closed. That section of it will be closed until the dedication. And then, as Brenda alluded to, sadly tomorrow will be the funeral for Mendota Heights officer Scott Patrick. Want the council to be aware. Myself and Officer Edwinson will be attending. A couple of other officers had indicated their desire to go, but we still have duty to our citizens here, so they will be working. We also are sending 2 of our reserves. Jake Youngmark and Roy Taggett will be going up to assist with the road closings and any details that they may have for that. They put out a request for assistance, and we were honored to be able to answer that request. That's all I have.
I'd like to say on that respect that our condolences go out to his family, to the city. It's a sad situation, one I hope that here in Cannon Falls we never have to deal with, but we give them our full support and backing and by helping them out this way, it's a great asset to be able to do that. I know they've helped us out in the past when the president came and stuff, so I mean it's just a sad situation that we're behind him, and our condolences are out to his family and to all of law enforcement throughout the state.
I appreciate that, Mr. Mayor. The chief there is a friend of mine. I emailed him that next morning and told him I didn't need to hear back, but he did reply. I know I will probably not have a chance to see him tomorrow, but when I see him in the future, I'll express our council's thoughts and yours. Thank you.
Thanks.
And I will do the same with their administrator. I did contact him the next day also and said unfortunately I've had experience in this area, and if he needs any help, let me know. That's all.
So no? Merle?
Nothing.
Nothing. I have some concerns that have been expressed to me at our local canoe rental place. On the weekends, it gets very busy, and a lot of people parking on the streets and around that bridge. Is there anything we can do to help the safety factor around there?
The biggest problem I see is that because of its location, the parking that would be available would be on the other side of the river. On the weekends, that has also been prime usage for people that are not with that one, but with the other canoe service, as well as people that are utilizing the parks and the trails. We don't have full control over it because it's a state highway, but we could, have some conversations with MnDOT to, see if there's some things that we could do. Initially, we were seeing a significant amount of cars parking on River Road, so much so that we ended up restricting one side parking there because it was making it hard for our emergency vehicles to get in and out. But we could look at some options. One of the things that I come to mind would be if the canoe place is that busy, trying to find a place that they could offer shuttles from. I mean, they're already picking the people up and taking them. Maybe they could park off site and be able to bring them in with their bus or their van. We could have a conversation with them to see what we could come up with as some alternatives.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, the one thing with that was brought up once before, I don't know how long ago, but we talked about that, to look into the possibility of the parking on the grass there by River Road would help at all, to talk to the canoe place down there and the bike rental place to see if anything like that would help. So I do know that the canoe launch is one thing that really bothers me, because they park right on the main highway there and carry the canoes off the sides and then go down in there. And we have talked about trying to do something to help out with that too, and get them a different launch area down in Hannah's Bend or something. So I think this is an issue that maybe we could talk about a little bit more. And I do like the shuttle thing, that if there could be some kind of shuttle service from the overflow parking lot or something. So I think it's good Bill brought that up, because it's really nice to see how busy it is, but it also is a traffic problem down there. Thank you.
I would have to do some checking. I don't think it would be a good policy for us to utilize our park green space for vehicles. And I'm not sure what property the city has adjacent to the lift station on the other side of River Road. But I think we're open to exploring any options that would work.
The only other thing, Robbie, is I wanted to bring up to the council that I was asked to come out to the meeting at Country Kitchen last week with Matt Schmidt out there and the business people. And I wanted to bring this up tonight because of the gal that talked out there. I thought it was a real good meeting. They asked Matt to kind of push some buttons and see what we could do. They would definitely like the right-hand turn lanes off, but they'd also like the blend-in lanes back in. I think everything points to me to, if we could get the right-hand turn lanes, would really be a great thing. I don't know about the coming back on, where that's going to go. The only thing I will say that they talked about out there that day, and I thought was really an important thing, is we do have a cul-de-sac that's proposed on the end of Saratoga Inn, instead of that tying back into 24 the way it is now, so you could loop right around there. They did feel that that was a real safety issue as far as police, ambulance, and fire. They also brought up the fact that the new road that goes down in front of Super America out to the highway out there now is very busy right now, and more than likely going to get worse once everything comes that way. They did bring up the fact that if we did have a fire or a police call, and we at least had the right-hand turn lanes, they could go out to Casey's overpass, get on there, take the right-hand turn lane, and be right out by the Saratoga in that area. So some real good issues were brought up, and it's still being pushed. The study we're having done the traffic study that we had to do to take the next step. I believe Dave said today won't be done till October, or Greg said that, or somebody. So we are still moving, we're still pushing, but things go in small leaps and bounds with what we're dealing with here and this kind of stuff. But everybody is pushing. Thank you.
Jay? Morris?
Tom, has anything been done with the speed on County Road 17? I know it's the county and all this good stuff.
No, we discussed that today with some of the homeowners association residents there, and could be a county study that would have to be done. And as Greg and I advised, it might not be to our favor. You know, I mean, I'd hate to see 45 coming in further into town. I think just the fact that it's a rural setting of road, I think people just feel just like they do on 19, that, you know, once they see the cornfields and grass, they're off to the races. And I don't know without what the county would do if they would drop that to 30 and have it go out further to Sunflower Court, or if you just replicate the situation you have on 19 East where everybody still comes in at 60 miles an hour regardless. So it's a big issue. No shoulders out there and the children coming to town. We've explored the possibility of trails coming in. Talked about that 2 or 3 years ago. And there's something should be done. Yeah, definitely.
Have we talked to the county at all about it?
No. We talked
Talk to the county as far as a speed study?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
I know we've had conversations in the past with them on the trail, you know, extension out, and those were not very positive on their desire to do that. As far as speed study, I don't think so. You know, we have done some directed patrols out in that area, and if I recall, and last time was probably a year or so ago, but I don't think we ended up with that many citations out of that. You know, the biggest problem is, you know, Tom alluded to, you know, MnDOT's philosophy, and that sort of gets adopted down through, you know, counties and engineering for cities, is that people will drive to what they feel is appropriate. And because it's such a barren stretch, even though it's got a lot of residential around it, it's not right on it. And so people perceive it as, you know, not having that same risk factors, I would say. But, you know, definitely, you know, I know Tom's expressed it. I've expressed it. I think, you know, Aaron previously had expressed it to the county on doing something out there to try to connect them into, you know, the other part of the city, so we reduce that likelihood of pedestrians and cars mixing.
There are a lot of young students out there. I mean, young kids.
Yep, that subdivision has a lot of families in it.
Yeah.
And they're sort of isolated from the rest of our city services, so to speak, because of that lack of the trail system along that county road.
Yep.
And I think it primarily came down to cost. You know,
I'm sure.
The homeowners didn't want to pay for it, the county didn't want to pay for it, and that shifts it to us if we want to do it. But
we can check on that, though. I mean, see what they might want to do with as far as the speed and stuff. Just to see if we can get something done, at least to slow them down a little bit coming into that stretch. You know, got cars pulling out of there, and young kids might be riding their bikes up that way, and we don't need any fatalities out there.
Yeah, but we did, like Tom was mentioning, we did discuss that Public Works this afternoon, and a couple of years ago we talked about possible trails along 17 and just slightly off and coming up to Cannon Bluffs 1, but it was cost prohibitive because those in the developments out there did not want to participate, but it was tough for the city to do it. And as everybody knows, you drive out there, as you go up the hill out that way, you got steep slopes on either side. Very difficult to build up to get a wide enough area to have a trail or whatever. But and it is tough for the kids coming down, and that includes my own. So it's a dangerous thing, but there's no easy solution.
Anybody else got anything? If not,
Mayor,
wait a minute.
Actually, there is one other item that I'd like to mention tonight. The filings for City Council are open. They close next Tuesday, August 12th at 5 o'clock. We have the offices of mayor and 2 council members for a 4-year term and 1 council member for a 2-year term that will be on the ballot.
Anything else? If not, Chair will take a motion to adjourn.
Second.